This is Top 30.
Northern California has been devastated by quickly spreading wildfires. Over 20,000 people have fled their homes, at least 11 people are dead, and over 100 have been reported missing. Nearly 100,000 acres have been burned, enough to be seen from space in this satellite image. The state's firefighting resources are stretched thin by another fire burning to the south in Orange County. Over 5,000 homes there have been evacuated. Some of the buildings destroyed in Northern California include hotels and wineries. This is an image of one neighborhood in the Sonoma County town of Santa Rosa before and after the fire. Those in the northern part of the state are usually prepared for earthquakes, not wildfires. But experts say the flames are being fueled by low humidity and the phenomenon known as the Santa Ana winds, systems of hot, dry air that create perfect fire conditions. The director of CAL FIRE said every spark is going to ignite a fire. The planets literally align to have this explosive state. Officials also say the fires won't be fully contained for weeks.
Angelina Jolie and Gwyneth Paltrow are speaking out against mega producer Harvey Weinstein. Jolie sent an email to the New York Times saying she had a bad experience with him in her youth and chose to never work with him again. Paltrow said she refused unwanted advances from him when she was 22. The news comes as a 10-month investigation by the New Yorker reveals new allegations against Weinstein, including 3 women accusing him of rape. 13 different women spoke to The New Yorker, accusing Weinstein of sexual assault that occurred between the 1990s and 2015. And some people in Weinstein's companies talked to The New Yorker and said that they witnessed or had knowledge of unwanted advances in the workplace. A spokesperson for Weinstein issued a statement in response to The New Yorker's article, saying in part, any allegations of non-consensual sex are unequivocally denied by Mr. Weinstein. Mr. Weinstein has further confirmed that there were never any acts of retaliation against any women for refusing advances. You may have heard about this story in the last few days, but this New Yorker article really does shed more light on Weinstein's alleged pattern of behavior.
These are your quick hits. Authorities reveal the Las Vegas gunman shot hotel security guard Jesus Campos 6 minutes before he started shooting at concertgoers, not 10 minutes after, as police had previously stated. This new timeline leaves unanswered questions like why police couldn't find the gunman earlier and why he stopped shooting. Michael Jordan donated $7 million to fund health clinics in 2 poverty-stricken neighborhoods in Charlotte, North Carolina. The billionaire owner of the Charlotte Hornets said that he hopes the clinics will help provide a brighter and healthier future for the children and families they serve. And the Toledo Zoo is caring for 3 orphaned cougar cubs sent from Washington State. And one thing's for sure, they are cute!
A man who helped get a kidnapped girl to safety ended up donating the reward money to the teen victim.
The good Lord put me in a spot that day, sent me home, made me look at the spot in my field and figure out what's going on.
Earl Melchert was at his Minnesota home on that day and at that time only because he'd forgotten something he needed for work. He happened to notice a young girl in his backyard who was tired and wet, and recognized her from news reports and flyers around town. The 15-year-old girl was Jasmine Block, who just escaped after 29 days in captivity by running through a field and swimming across a lake. 3 men are facing charges. Police say they assaulted her and locked her in a closet while holding her in captivity.
Sometimes when I close my eyes, I just see their face, or like I'm scared sometimes to sleep.
At a news conference, the 65-year-old Melchert said the teen victim deserved the $7,000 in reward money and gave it to the family. The victim's mum was brought to tears by the gesture. She thanked him and said the story could have had a very different ending if he wasn't there to help her daughter. The company behind Google will try to restore cell phone service in hurricane-battered Puerto Rico using balloons. Hurricane Maria took out about 82% of cell sites in Puerto Rico and more than half of cell sites in the US Virgin Islands. Millions of people there have no phone service. Google's parent company, Alphabet, launched Project Loon several years ago as a way of bringing internet service to remote areas. Solar-powered balloons use helium to fly about 65,000 feet in the air. They can receive signal from telecommunications partners on the ground and send coverage to anyone with a mobile LTE device. Alphabet has now been approved for an experimental FCC license to deploy Project Loon in Puerto Rico. And their next step will be to integrate with a cell carrier to get service to those on the ground. The balloons have been used in relief efforts before. Earlier this year, they were able to bring internet service to thousands in Peru.
Earlier this year, when the statue of a young girl was unveiled facing off against the infamous Wall Street Bull, she was touted as the ultimate symbol of fearless feminism. However, it's come to light that State Street, the $2.6 trillion investment firm who paid for the bronzed icon, is actually anything but feminist. They were sued for underpaying female and black executives from 2010 to 2012 and agreed to pay $5 million to settle these claims. According to Huffington Post, the back pay will be distributed between 305 female senior executives and 15 black vice presidents who were employed in a Boston State Street office. Currently, State Street only has 3 women on their 10-person board of directors. Maybe the best way to support women would be hiring a number equal to that of men.
Let's go to the New York Stock Exchange for our Fox Business Minute with your friend of mine, Nicole Pedalidis. Nicole, I'm hearing good stuff about one of the world's biggest luxury brands.
That's right, Richard. LVMH, the world's largest luxury retailer, posting solid gains in the third quarter. The luxury titan behind Louis Vuitton and Fendi posted a 12% increase in third quarter sales, beating analysts' expectations. And this is welcoming news for luxury stocks like Tiffany's, Michael Kors, and Coach that could benefit from those strong sales numbers. And the Force was with the NFL on Monday night. Disney released the newest trailer for the 8th installment of the Star Wars saga, The Last Jedi, during halftime of Monday Night Football. Tickets for the film are now on sale. And if you love your pet as much as I do, then listen up, because this story is for you. IKEA is launching a furniture collection for your pets. The collection was created with the help from veterinarians. IKEA will sell staples like dog beds and cat houses. The collection also includes basic items from toys and leashes to pet waste bags and bowls. Richard?
Will I be able to get these at any IKEA store?
Well, for now, the animal-friendly items are launching in the U.S., Canada, France, Japan, as a pilot, with plans to bring them to other countries in the future.
Not only does your life change after you have a baby, but research says that your brain actually changes too. Pil-Young Kim of the University of Denver and co-author of a study published in a science journal says brain changes start in pregnancy and continue into the postpartum period. These brain changes are neurobiological and meant to support the developing mother-infant relationship. The rewiring explains why you suddenly feel an incredible love for that tiny human you'd do anything for, even through what would normally be debilitating sleep deprivation. Kim says the high-intensity emotion parents feel after a baby is born is critical in establishing long-term bonds, and the circuits that communicate using dopamine are particularly important. So now we have a scientific explanation for baby brain.
A speedboat that belonged to President John F. Kennedy sold at Guernsey's auction house for $75,000. The Park Avenue auction house put the speedboat and many other items that once belonged to the 35th president on the auction block. The boat, which was named Rest of Us, a joke about the expanding nature of the Kennedy family, was originally won by Joe Kennedy, the family patriarch, at a church raffle. In addition to the speedboat, also auctioned off was a bomber jacket President Kennedy had made before his untimely death, Robert Burke's heroic bronze bust of JFK, as well as his personal H. Upmann cigars. Some items belonging to JFK's late wife, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, were up for sale as well, including what is believed to be the black lace mantilla she wore while visiting the Vatican in 1962.
The 2018 nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame have been announced, and you might not be surprised to hear names like Bon Jovi, Judas Priest, and Radiohead, but other nominees include LL Cool J, Kate Bush, and Nina Simone. Rounding out the 19 nominees are The Cars, Depeche Mode, Dire Straits, The Eurythmics, The Jay Giles Band, MC5, The Meters, Moody Blues, Rage Against the Machine, Rufus featuring Shaka Khan, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, Link Wray, and The Zombies. An international voting committee of 900 will cast their ballots, and fans are eligible to vote on rockhall.com through December 5th.
Health officials in Texas are keeping a close eye to see if there are any increases in mosquito-borne diseases. The rains from Hurricane Harvey led to flooding and standing water, which is a breeding ground for mosquitoes. State leaders sprayed more than 7 million acres of land after Harvey hit to try and make sure there is no major increase in the mosquito population. The biggest concerns are West Nile virus and Zika, which are both transmitted to humans by mosquitoes. There are no reports of any cases yet, but health officials say the next month will be critical.
In today's Hometown Stories from Fox 5 New York, a breast cancer support group offers advice and a sympathetic ear to people struggling with the disease. The nonprofit organization SHARE answers about 6,000 calls every year. The volunteers at their call center have experienced all stages of breast cancer. Through SHARE, current breast cancer patients can connect with survivors, making them feel like they aren't alone. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and SHARE is offering a number of special support groups and programs to raise awareness about the disease. In our second story, Dell Children's Hospital in Austin, Texas, had its third annual Superhero Day. Members of the Austin Police Department dressed up like Captain America, Spider-Man, Batman, and more to surprise the kids at the hospital. Some officers arrived by helicopter, others rappelled down the side of the building. The kids, meanwhile, were glued to the windows to watch the show. The event, which is sponsored by Seton Healthcare Family and Wells Fargo, brought joy to the faces of children who are fighting their own battles every day. In our final story from Fox 35 Orlando, a couple was driving to the hospital to give birth to their baby girl, but little Ainsley had other plans. Megan Gilmore gave birth in the passenger seat of the car, just 5 minutes away from the hospital. Her husband Brad looked over to see their new daughter cradled on Megan's chest. When they got to the hospital, Brad was even able to cut the umbilical cord in the car before Megan was taken to her room. Both mommy and baby are doing great.
A new list counts down the top 25 highest paid players in NFL history based on their football contracts. The GOAT, Tom Brady, is number 3. He has made $197.2 million. I guess that is the going rate for a QB with 5 Super Bowl rings. Number 2, the only QB to ever beat Tom Brady in a Super Bowl, Eli Manning, and he's done it twice. He's earned $219.3 million. And number 1, Eli's brother, Peyton Manning, played 18 years and retired after the 2015 season, shortly after winning his second Super Bowl. His total, $248.7 million. That is an awful lot of money for essentially throwing a ball around a field. Maybe these people should try doing a job in the real world, like reading out loud on television.
A study published by the American Psychological Association says cognitively people are aging better than they used to, making it more important than ever to take care of your body, especially your skin, so how young you feel reflects how young you look. Which is why we're presenting you with today's top 30 deal, Pradier Paris Skin Tightening Wrinkle Cream. Pradier Paris is amazing. The cream contains argan oil, which is known as nature's liquid gold because of how well it moisturizes and energizes the skin to fight fine lines and wrinkles. Pradier Paris restores the skin's renewal process by stimulating facial cells, which results in thicker, firmer skin with luminous color and silky smooth texture. Pradier Paris Skin Tightening Wrinkle Cream retails for $780, but today you can buy it for just $49. That's about a 94% discount. And you can get this right now at top30deals.com while they last.
The Stanley Hotel, best known for inspiring the Stephen King novel The Shining, has been bubbling with paranormal activity. While on a spirit tour of the 108-year-old hotel in Estes Park, John Morseling of Aurora, Colorado, caught what he believes to be two young female ghosts on film, one walking down the hotel stairs and another walking up. According to the Huffington Post, John and his wife, Jessica Martinez Morseling, said there were no young girls on the tour, nor could they recount seeing anyone other than the tour guide and another tourist on the stairs when the photo was snapped. Ben Hansen, former FBI agent and star of Fact or Faked, Paranormal Files, looked at the image and said, "I really like this photo. Assuming that it's not doctored, it ranks up there as one of the best photos of possible paranormal evidence I've seen." And I agree with him. It is absolutely fantastic evidence of something that definitely doesn't exist.
A police officer in Rock County, Wisconsin went above and beyond the call of duty when she donated a kidney to a boy in need. Officer Lindsay Biddorf saw a public Facebook post from Christy Gall, desperate to find a kidney for her son. A mother herself, Lindsay felt the need to help. She told People magazine, "My mother told me it takes a village to raise a child, so I told Christy, I'm just another person in your village trying to help your child." After a lot of testing, Lindsay was a perfect match for 9-year-old Jackson, who was born with posterior urethral valves, a condition that affects kidney function. They had kidney transplant surgery in June at the University of Wisconsin Hospital and Clinics. The surgery was a success, and Lindsay and Jackson are now bonded for life. Lindsay said, "He calls me his best friend now. It's amazing we went from being complete strangers to best friends." Christy said Lindsay is now part of their family, and Jackson is your typical 9-year-old, healthy and back in school.
Here is another reason to ignore those LinkedIn requests from strangers. They might be part of a scam. Cybersecurity experts say that hackers are posing as professionals and sending networking requests to LinkedIn's 500 million users. When those requests are accepted, it gives the fake users access to real email addresses. They can then use the information in your LinkedIn profile to custom tailor an email asking you to click a link or download a file. The target may not be the individual with the real profile, but the company they work for. The recent hack of the music site Vivo began with a single phishing attack on LinkedIn. There are a few warning signs to look out for. Hackers often steal profile photos from legitimate accounts. If they are suspiciously good looking, it might even be a stock photo. They will also steal the text of real profiles. You can copy paste it into your browser to see if it comes up anywhere else. But that is why I ignore every single LinkedIn request. A new company says it can restore electricity during major emergencies by using solar panels that roll up like carpet. On its website, Renovogen says the rapid roll system is designed for fast deployment and can work anywhere. The panels are loaded onto a 4x4 truck and can be transported anywhere quickly, which makes them ideal during disaster situations. The company says each 4x4 carries enough panels to power a clinic with 120 beds and can last for as long as 10 years. The solar panels also have USB ports to help charge cell phones and devices. Company leaders say they are getting word out in hopes of using these panels during the next major emergency.
If you're one of the wolves of Wall Street who pay the $20,000 fee to use the Bloomberg Terminal software, there's a few epic perks that come with the deal. Not only do you get access to stock quotes, financial analysis, and an instant messenger, but there's a lesser-known fringe benefit, a version of Craigslist for the 1% called Posh, which touts high-priced exclusive items that peasants like you and I can't imagine. A $19 million Italian castle, 1962 Picasso painting for a mere $100,000, and a 2012 Ferrari California listed at $145,000. But it's not all Italian villas and famous works of art. Buyers can also find Tiffany engagement rings, Mont Blanc pens, and Louis Vuitton items. So now you know where to go to buy that mega yacht you've been shopping for. New research says living in cities could make you happier and healthier. The study was conducted by Oxford University and the University of Hong Kong. It found that people living in densely populated cities are more socially engaged, more active, and less overweight compared to people living in suburbs. It found city dwellers had lower obesity rates and exercised more than those who lived further away from urban centers. The study reinforced something we already know. Walking is good for you. Not only does it provide exercise, but it also gives people a chance to interact with others and encourages a sense of community. The study's author said the findings could help plan multifunctional, attractive neighborhoods that promote physical activity, promote social interaction, and shield from negatives such as pollution and feeling unsafe. So if you've ever wanted to move to the big city, go for it.
That is it for today's Top 30. Here are some stories coming up that are worth knowing about. NASA could prepare astronauts for Mars by editing their DNA. We'll tell you why Americans are some of the heaviest people in the world. And this dog became a national hero in Mexico for finding earthquake survivors. These stories and more coming up on the next Top 30.